Hey there, folks. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we are going to learn about our Mogurts, our motion graphic templates, and how to build our own. So, as we know, our assignment is to create a motion design package, which includes maybe, three elements. So, maybe a lower third, which is just maybe a title bar, and I'll run you through how to create that today, and maybe a transition, maybe a logo reveal. There are all kinds of elements that go into a motion design package. We are going to keep things simple just so that you have an introduction to what they are, how to build them, and how to create specific elements that then can be given to any editor or any kind of person who wants to include. So a lot of these things you'll get these from schools and other big big corporations, I guess. And so if you were to use the brand for your project, well, then they can just go and here's a Mogrt and here's the design standards that you need to use. Okay, so today let's have a look at what we're talking about. Nice. Oh, there we go. We'll just fire me right up there. So I'm looking at Adobe stock, and of course there are millions of Mogurts out there for sale, and some for free, some that are included in Premiere Pro, and some that you can just take them right from Adobe stock, but there's all kinds of them out there, from Premium Beat, Video Maker, Motion Array, all kinds. And so what we are going to do is make sure to build our project according to industry standards. Okay, so what you'll get here is a little information on what you get. You'll have a little video, which is usually 700 or so by 480 or something like that. Some small video that shows obviously what's inside it, describes a little bit, and maybe has some stock footage that you use to and sometimes music as well. Okay, and so you'll see something like that. So you can add your own. All right, so let's get into this, and we will make our own lower third today. So I have one, and it's also up. I've put it up on Blackboard, and so you can have a look and see all the files right there. So what we're looking at today is just a little bit of animation here, coming in and then going out. So I've made mine about 5 seconds. And really, it's just a simple, couple of shape layers being animated, just the scale of these bars, and then for the name, which is my alter ego, I just went and got some kind of animate in. What did I do? I used typewriter, and very, very simple, just really quick. And then for the outro, or the animation going backwards, I literally did exactly the same thing, copy pasted the keyframes from here. So I just took those, copy pasted them to here, and then what you have to remember is right click, keyframe assistant, and time reverse keyframes. Nice and easy, very simple. You can see within this logo I have a couple of elements, so just a basic spin. And what I've actually done is added a script where we just get a loop out. Okay, and I will get into scripts in the coming days. So yeah, basically we just have our 5 seconds, and this is a standard time. This is enough time for someone to read this and then have our animation out. But what we want to do for our motion graphic template is give the option to the editor to make this longer or shorter. We want to give them the option to change the name, obviously, and any other controls that we want to give them. Okay, so what I have mentioned previously, or that's up on Blackboard, is this responsive design time. Okay, and how we do that, we do it with protected regions. So I want my animation, regardless of how long this this actual file gets used, the Mogrt gets used, I want this animation to stay the same. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go right to here. I'll hit N on my keyboard so that we get a work area from here to here, and I'm going to right click, and you'll see right there, create protected region from work area. All right, and you'll get blink right there, and I'll do the same thing over at the end. So I'll just hit B, and so it's beginning, and N for end, and of course it defaults to there. So I just want to make sure that I have this covering it and create protected region. All right, now I want to bring back my work area so it's the whole thing. And you know, these kinds of how this animates out is completely up to you, and of course it needs to be branded. This one's a little bit of fun. We have this sort of silly logo that continues to spin, but you know, we don't want to distract too much. And then it animates out. Very simple, very straightforward. So how do we make a Mogrt out of this? Well, what you need to do is go up to Window and get your Essential Graphics. Okay, and if you open that up, you'll see that I've already started this. I did a version of it previously. So what you'll see right off the top is for yours, it won't. It'll just have untitled. So you need to make yours. So what I would suggest is Control or Command K, get the composition settings out there, and then copy that out, and then make it, paste it in there. All right. Well, you can do a version 2, whatever you want. So L3 is the usual name for these. And what the next thing you want to do is make sure to check or to click your the version that you want. Okay, so I'm just going to delete all of these just to start fresh. And what you'll do next is go and click on Solo Supported Properties, and you'll see, boom, as soon as I do that, I'll make this a bit bigger. As soon as I do that, After Effects has revealed in my timeline all the parameters that I can add to this Mogrt and give control to the editor. So we don't want to overwhelm them, right? We just want the standards, and the standards, of course, is the text, being able to rename it. So I'm just going to click and drag you up, and I'll say name. And then what do we want to do? Do we want to give them a few more options here? Do we want opacity? No, I don't think so. This is the kind of thing you do as a designer. You keep that from confusing them, right? You're the animator, they are the editor. You just keep it simple. We have bar 2, which you can see has it's on a multiply layer. It's also, I believe, just a bit, yeah, it's at 90% opacity. So what could we do? We could change or give them the color that they want. So it's going to say top bar color. All right, and I'll leave everything else the way it is. Maybe we can give them the size parameters, and just in case they need to make it smaller. Maybe someone's face is, you know, you don't want to block it. So that might be something we do. So yeah, we can just click right in here And is it going to, what's it going to say? Here we go. This property is keyframe. Keyframes and controls will be ignored in Premiere Pro when the composition is exported. All right, so that, because this is a protected region, it doesn't matter. All right, so that's good. So we'll say top bar size. All right, and what you can also do is select both of these, or actually go and say add group. So I could say top, whoa, what did I do? Add group, and I'll say top bar, and then I'll just drag my bar into that group. There we go. And then what else do we want to do? So that's bar, what was that? Bar 2 or bar 1? Uh-oh, did I mess it up? I think I have solo supported properties, and yeah, so that is the top bar. Good, I was correct. All right. So there we go, and it should also, yeah, the other good thing here is that I put the anchor point over on the left-hand side so that it animates out quite easily. So when this person, when the editor goes to edit it, scale it for whatever size, it'll still scale from that original size. So that's good. All right, so that's bar 2, so that's good. I'll do you. Put you up there, and I'm also going to do the same thing with the color here. So this is lower bar color, and let's do this scale as well in here. Boop. Lower bar scale, and I'll add another group, and we'll say lower bar, and you in there as well. All right, let's get a bit more space here. Lower bar, there we go. All right, so we have our lower bar, upper bar. I'm going to put the name right on top there, just so that it's good. And we'll do a fill color as well here. Why not? Property is already, oh, okay, good. Top bar color, lower bar color, good. So you can see the little difference there. And we should be good. Multiply normal, maybe I'll put that on a different one too. And you can't tell right now, but, oh, and I seem to have deleted my logo. Interesting. So I'm going to bring in logo orange and a diamond. Actually, since I've already animated this over here, I'll just go grab you and copy you into here. There we go. All right. And scaled out. Done. Oh, and you can see I've done some strangeness with my, I added a keyframe there. That's why. There we go. All right, so we have our animation, and all of our information is ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to save that, obviously. And then what you can also do is set poster time. So that means that by default, it actually will be the first frame, which is silly because there's nothing there. So just go to somewhere in the middle and click set poster time, just so it's, and what that means is when you go over to Premiere Pro, that's the little graphic, the little poster that will show up. All right. And then the last thing we need to do is export our motion graphic template. You'll say save me. And what you'll get next is this where you want to save it. Right now it's going to, oh, I'm going to cancel that because it took away my name. So I'm going to say Ogle L3 version 2. All right, and click save and export. And so what you'll get is some warnings. So, or it'll tell you whether or not something's going to work, and you'll see what that means in a second. The other thing is you can put keywords, which is basically tags that someone in Premiere Pro can type in to find yours, if you wanted to do that. So if I click OK, you'll see that the font I chose, Franklin Gothic Medium, is not synced. It's not available from Adobe. So the motion graphic template will be marked as requiring fonts that are not available. So you can still do that, or you can go back in and change it. Basically, if you're in Premiere Pro, of course, you will you'll have access to all Adobe fonts, so it's easy to sync. However, this is not an Adobe font, so it'll be it might not be on the system, so that it'll, when you bring in the Mogrt to someone else's system, it might not, they might have to replace it with something. So that's something to be aware of. All right, so we're done. I've clicked OK. I've saved it, and I'm happy. So now what I'm going to do is go over to Premiere Pro just to see how it works, or to show you how it works. So I just have this random scene here of people walking, and I want to bring in a lower third. All right, so how do we do that? Best way to do that is to go up to Graphics over here, and what you'll see is this similar version of the Essential Graphics panel. Okay, and what you'll get is you'll have My Templates, you'll have Adobe Stock, which there are many to choose from. One of 13 pages, as you can see, so lots and lots out there. And what I want to do is go to My Templates, and then you'll see that whether I have libraries online in my CC library, or I want to look in local, and then you need to point it to where you've saved it. All right, so if I take that and go to my desktop, now I've refreshed it. Now you can see I have my Ogle lower third here. All right, so all you need to do now is click and drag that on, and depending on the size of it or whatever, how much information you have in there, you can do that. So now if I wanted to change this as an editor, what I would do is double click it. Okay, and now my Essential Graphics panel changes from Browse to Edit, and I can change the name. Harry Belafonte, and there we go. It's as easy as that. We can change our top bar color, top bar size. Yeah, you can't do that. It's really strange. Maybe we'll change our top bar color and see something. No, that doesn't work at all. Let's try something. Let's try a color from here. Perfect. There we go. But because it's on a multiply, it doesn't work, or it doesn't show up as well. So yeah, there you go. You can change all of these and do whatever you like now, and that's of course up to the editor. Now, the cool thing is, remember I talked about those protected regions. So this right now is at 5 seconds. If the editor wants this longer or shorter, they can just pull this out or in. So maybe they don't want it on for as long. But look, Oh, interesting. So that warning I got from when I added the scale properties, the scale, what it did is actually it deleted that warning, said that the animation will be ignored, which is kind of funny. So basically what I've done is removed my animation and given that control to the editor, which is kind of silly. So the only thing still animating is that thing there. So I'll show you a different version of what I had. The first one I chose, which is right here. And so in here I didn't give them, here I'll just double click and you can see it here. I just had the lower bar color. I also gave them the option here to change the logo. So you can come right up here and replace it with your own logo. And what it does is, yeah, it'll keep all the animation you did to that layer or to that element, but with your own new logo, which is kind of good. But yeah, so as far as protected regions, you can see here, if they wanted it to be nice and quick, then it will still animate out at the same time and then go right back in. Or just the same if they want it much longer. Okay? There we go. All right, so yeah, that's what a Mogrt is. And so in this case, it's a lower third. They can be anything though, right? They can be a transition. They can be all kinds. So let's go over here to what else we could. Yeah, intros and outros are basically similar to lower thirds, but less information. It's more like a show opener, a logo reveal. Slideshows, info cards, promo, could be a call to action. Could be a logo bug, which is basically, you know, if you're watching television and the channel logo will come up and maybe do a little bit of animation, and then it'll fade to you know, 50% opacity or something and just sit there. That's called a logo bug. So yeah, there are all kinds of options out there, and that is your introduction to Mogrt. All right. So let's go back here. We'll zoom myself up again, and we will thank you very much for tuning in. Go look on Blackboard and see the project files that I used here, and get designing. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in class.